What up, word? It's your boy Chuck Wickgill, aka Charles Brown, back again with another Talking Facts. But first, are you good? Good. All right, man. Wash your hands. Be safe. So, did your boy Jay Z just wish wash your man Jay Electronica new album? Did he put him under a new type of category because it ain't the GOAT right now at this point? Uh, did Jay Z embarrass or wash up Jay Electronica? This has been a debate for a while. I think Joe Button said he did. I just watched a Dead End Hip Hop review where they were saying, some of them were saying that he did. Quite a few reviews are saying, I think Anthony Fantano said that Jay-Z outshined him on this album. So let's talk about it. Did Jay-Z outshine or slap around like Joe Button says? Did he slap around Jay Electronica? All right, man. So 40 days, 40 nights. We got this album made. We've been talking about this since 2010, 2009. People was saying Jay Electronica this, Jay Electronica that. He signed to Hove. I don't even think Hove was Hove Rock Nation back then. Might have been. I think it was Rock Nation back then. I know that Rock had already broke up, I believe. So it probably was Rock Nation. So he signed him to Rock Nation, and we've been waiting for 10 years for this album. And basically, the consensus was it would be a masterpiece if he ever dropped it, but he's never going to drop it. It was like Detox. It was never coming out. People was betting against it, and it started to look bleak, like nobody cared. I saw a lot of posts over the years where someone would be like, Jay Electronica, new album on the way, and someone would be like, who cares? We cared 3 years ago. That was 5 years ago. Like, we don't care. Like, 2012, we would have cared. All this little stuff, and everybody had something to say. And it was mostly negative, you know what I'm saying? But some people were still waiting for that. If J.E. ever dropped, da-da-da. So we get this, a written testimony. We get this Jay-Z, Jay Electronica collab, semi-Ray and Ghost type of feel. And some people say, well, you wasn't mad when Ray and Ghost did it, da-da-da-da. For one, Ray and Ghost never outshined each other. And for two, the music was quality. It was never an issue with the music or the raps. So there was no issue to be like Ray and Ghost, da-da-da. All right? So this is the problem with this album. And I'll be one of the first to tell you in my review, I gave this album a D- because basically it took too long to come out. And when it came out, the quality of the mix was not good on a lot of the songs. And the beats were mediocre, in my opinion. And everybody's trying to say it's lo-fi and this and that and that. Lo-fi don't mean trash, bro. And lo-fi don't mean clunky, mixed up samples that's like clashing with each other. And lo-fi don't mean you only rapped 8, 9 times on an album that we've been waiting 10 years for. And Jay-Z rapped as many times as you did. And Jay-Z's on every song. And then you throw a song on there from 10 years ago on there. No, we not. That's not going to be what it is. So Jay seemed to be way more in shape. If you listen to the album, Jay seems to be way more focused with way more to prove. It doesn't seem like Jay Electronica has anything to prove on this album. And a lot of people want to try to tell me it's because he's spitting his knowledge, it's so deep, da-da-da. End of the day, man, and it's some real talk right now. It ain't that it's so deep, it's that if you don't follow Islam or things like that, or FOI, or 5% T. So if you mention any of that, even in passing, the surface level of that, if you say a name that someone doesn't know, it's going to sound deep. You know what I'm saying? It's going to sound like it's deep. Oh, you don't know that name, Aki, da-da-da. You don't get it. You like that. It has to reach a certain level. Like, it got to be profound. Like, scripture's not looked at profoundly just because it says God over and over. It says Allah over and over. It has deeper constructs. It has woven in there much deeper meanings and conversations inside of that touch your soul, that are like, oh, wow, like that you never piece together on your own. That's what deepness is. It has more living force in it that's going to guide you this way or that way. It's not going to just tell you, I got the Quran on the shelf. That doesn't mean I'm deep. It just means I got the Quran on the shelf. You know what I'm saying? But if I say the Quran on the shelf 14 times, some people might think that's deep. You know what I'm saying? It's not that it's deep. It's that I'm just talking about something that people conceive as deep. So with all that being said, I don't think that this, on Jay Electronica's part, that he went too deep with beyond the surface of this, of what we're talking about. And Jay had more. He's more sharper. Like, you gotta think, if he's writing, this dude all day got something to say. I'm sure he's storing up topics in his head all freaking day. This dude's at the top of his game right now because he's so scrutinized every time he drops. So everything he says has to be top of his game. He probably got more to prove because he's 50. Then the dude that's 25, 27, he got more on the line than they do. You know what I'm saying? He got way more on the line than they do. He got way more on the line. If he come out rapping, like, people been saying Jay Electronica would eat him for years. Like, they shouldn't be on the same time. Well, he got so much to prove. He probably got 10 times more to prove. I guarantee you, Jay didn't take $1 for this album. This was pride, bro. I guarantee you, there ain't nowhere near nothing for this guy. No money came to this guy for this album. I promise you. This is not something he got paid for. This guy did this for the pride. And he lit it up. He went on so many angles. My opinion, I don't think Jay Electronica, you're not getting this album if Jay-Z not on it. You're not. It's not coming out. You're not getting Jay Electronica, a written testimony, 12 tracks featuring him. Even with other features, you're not getting this. I don't know who could even rap with this guy on his level, but you're not getting this album without Jay on it. Which means this guy is not motivated to do this. You're not going to be signed for 10 years and have nothing to prove it. You're throwing a track on there from 10 years ago. Tidal wasn't even around yet. They just put it up on Tidal 2 years ago. That shiny suit. So it's not much coming from this guy, and he don't really want to rap no more. So you're throwing him in there with a horse that all he does is run races, run laps. He's going to run laps around him. Now, I didn't walk away first feeling that Jay outshined. I did not walk away with that. Until a lot of people started saying that. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. And then you go back, most of the stuff that caught you was the Jay stuff. Jay-Z stuff. Most of the stuff that was said that was like, was Jay-Z words. Jay Electronica kept it very simple, very top surface. It's like if you were writing in the last 2 weeks or so, if you were writing and you were only basing it on your last couple experiences, it wouldn't be that much to talk about. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to talk about the whole 10 years of what you've seen, it's going to be crazy amount of words that you're throwing in there because you've seen a lot. But if you're going to go a month and write it, that's not enough time to get in shape. That's not enough time to come up with topics. That's not enough time to be deep to a certain degree. Especially if you're not writing at all. Especially if you don't care about the music or the rap at all. If you're saying on there, y'all gonna pick me apart, that's somebody who way more anxiety driven than they are driven to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, people are gonna pick you apart, but that means do it or don't. It's not about I'm gonna do it, but it's gonna be kind of scary because y'all gonna be mad critical. Who cares what these motherfuckers say? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? Apparently you didn't care that much because some of this stuff on here is way left field. And some of this music is decidedly not mainstream by no stretch. And a lot of people are telling me a lot of this was orchestrated and done on purpose to sound a certain way. And people are coming at me like, Jay had to do this on purpose. Jay-Z had to put it out. They had to mix it down like this on purpose because they wanted to take it back to a lo-fi sound and lo-fi is the future. And if you can't understand that, then you don't understand the future. Nah, man, lo-fi is not the future. Lo-fi is not the future. Lo-fi is an eclectic, acquired sound. It's a small amount of people who want to hear it. The album at the time of this recording moved 28,000 units, which is not a lot of units by no stretch. So even with all the hype of was it good, was it trash, with Jay-Z's all over it, it still only moved 28,000 units. That thing supposedly did not break 30,000 units A new artist with no following, a new rapper, 19 years old, could do that. You know what I'm saying? When he get a little bit of buzz, he could do that. So it's like, we're talking about a guy that's been in the game, that's been revered for 10 or plus years, doing 28,000. So no, lo-fi is not the future. It's not about lo-fi being the future. And this ain't even lo-fi. Lo-fi is 444. That's mixed down correctly. Even though Jay-Z said he did that, like, in No ID's house. Like, I believe they did it in the living room or something. You can't tell. That thing sounds right. I mean, you could kind of tell that it's not big splashy production, which is by design. But this right here is a level below that. The production of this is not nowhere near 444. And the rhyme quality is not 444. This has no cohesiveness. This has no concept. This is just a bunch of joints thrown together by two guys who really like each other. And the reason it sound like this is because Jay is not going to touch it. He promised from day one. Because soon as he signed him, everybody was like, oh, he going to ruin this album. J.E. going to be ruined, da-da-da. For the first, I want to say 3 years, people were saying it was Jay holding him up on purpose. This was a conspiracy theory in the freaking forums that I was reading, that Jay didn't want Jay Electronica. He signed him to shelve him. That is a fact. People were saying that Jay-Z only signed Jay Electronica so he could put him on the shelf, because he didn't want his message out there. This is how crazy people was talking, bruh. They were saying that Jay was going to stifle this guy, and that was the only reason he signed him. So that's why Jay can't touch he can't touch one hair of this album. He can't tweak one knob. He can just say his rap and step out, because anything he tries to do going to get scrutinized, where they're going to say, I told you. Jay only messed with this dude to try to change him. Like Eminem did Slaughterhouse. He going to ruin it. So Jay didn't have no option to change one thing of this album. He let this dude make it exactly how he wanted it. This is exactly how Jay Electronica wanted this album. Exactly. Jay only lended the vocals. And maybe an opinion or two, touchily, like, yo. But other than that, I promise you, I guarantee you, Jay did not have a lot of creative input on this album, because it wouldn't sound like this. The miscues and missteps, songs being too long and songs being too short, and throwing a 10-year-old song on it. Like, a lot of this stuff is from an amateur person who doesn't do a lot of releasing of albums. He could have put this out in 2011 and then move forward with an album a year, or, you know what I'm saying? By now, we should have at least 5 joints, in my opinion. At least 5. At least 5 albums. This sounds like a first project, a first shot that someone who doesn't make albums that much would do. Yes, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a masterpiece, da-da-da. Those are people who want it to be a masterpiece. They want this to sound like a masterpiece. They're not being objective because they love this guy, which is fine. You got your fans who are not going to be objective. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not a fan that's not going to be objective. I don't care who put it out. Jay-Z couldn't put it out himself. If this was Jay-Z rapping on this, I'd be like, this is garbage. I'm not that guy, bro. I'm not the guy going to give you carte blanche like, yo, you can do whatever you want. Anytime Jay-Z puts out a whack verse, I'm going to tell you. Anytime he puts out a whack verse, that's the nature of the beast. There's nothing you can do about it. People going to judge you. It's just a fact. So on here, Jay, did he outbar him? Yes, he did. And you got to think, this guy probably one of the top 5 artists in the history of rap. Imagine if Biggie had the chance to live to 50. You know what I'm saying? Imagine the level of what he would be talking about. How difficult it would be to mess around in this game. And it would make sense to get a guy like that out of the game. To get a guy like Tupac out of the game. It makes sense to get them out. Because then you're left with what? You know what I'm saying? Cookie cutter bullshit. So it's like, the stuff Jay-Z doing right now, yes, it's going to be hard to match that. You know what I'm saying? You put like it's almost like an old lion that's still extremely strong versus a lion that's kind of strong, but he haven't even done too many battles yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, he haven't killed another lion yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's not, you can't expect the same level with these two guys. And I know they're not competing with each other. But this guy Jay is a different kind of animal with this. He has way too much on the line because people are going to say it's trash. It's going to be people, I was seeing people saying that Jay messed the album up just because they don't like him. Facts. I was seeing people that was saying, Jay-Z make me sick. I hate Jay-Z. I wish he wasn't on here. The only reason you could be saying that is because you never liked him like 15 years ago. There is no way you heard this particular album and thought Jay-Z messed this album up. Unless you really just don't like him because he's rich. Or he talks rich. Or he's arrogant. Whatever reason you've decided. Because outside of that, this guy murders this album. This guy go line for line, if not completely squashes what this guy is saying. At some point, you can even hear Jay Electronica say, I got a cheat code. Like, he basically like, I got my first album with Hov. He even acknowledged the irony of this. How bizarre it is for your debut album to have Hov all over it. It's just bizarre. And even he knows it's crazy. So I'm going to go like this. In my opinion, I think Jay Electronica went bar for bar. Not bar for bar, but I think he held his own. I think he was very good on the album. But if you got to pin somebody down and say, who performance was better, Jay-Z performance was better. You have to give it to him. And I think it's better because he wants to be better. I don't think Jay Electronica was going to give you anything if Jay didn't force him and get in there and make the stuff he didn't want to write, he wrote. I don't think you would have got anything. And Jay Electronica would have been fine with that. He would have been fine 20 years later, never have put another song out. Because I don't think he cares. He wants to care. He's acting like he cares. I don't think he cares. That's why he's so emotional when he hears a Peter Rosenberg or a Joe Budden dissing the album. That's why he's tweeting, who does that? When they hear a critique, or who goes in the comment section of Elliott Wilson to a random fan who says, why is Jay-Z on all over the album? And then Jay Electronica goes, because that's my brother. That means he's in the comment section, he's reading all the comments, and he's feeling a way. You understand? So it's like, how many times you seen Nas in the comment section? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all about, this guy could be mentally strong, but with this rapping, he's extremely fragile with it, in my opinion. Because for one, you're not dropping anything. A real artist would have been dropping, you would have had 40 joints out by now. It's 10 years. Literally 40 joints ain't nothing but 4 joints a year. Right? You could wait 2 years and do a whole album, and that's, you know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you do 10 songs and you put out an album every 2 years of 10 songs, you have over 40 tracks. So let's say he got signed in 2010. He put an album out in 2012 with 10 songs. And then he did another album 2 years later. Then he did, by now it would be 40 tracks. Fact. So what do we have? We have this rush job that's going to expose everything. So my opinion, man, and I'm going to wrap this up. Jay Electronica is extremely nice, high level. He's at the very top of this game. But at the end of the day, Jay-Z is just too much to be on anybody's project, especially somebody who got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So yes, Jay-Z was the better rapper on here, regrettably, and I hate to say that because I don't like comparing dudes, being like, he's better than him, da-da-da. I hate doing that. But on here, if you got to pin me to the wall, Jay-Z ate this album. And that's all I got to say about that. My name is Chuck Wickgill. I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side, man. Eat better, man. Do better. I'm going to see y'all. Peace.